Learning. I'm Miss James, the work-based learning coordinator, and I'm here with Miss Sandra Ramirez today. I'm sorry, I'm not showing my face today. I've just got the camera pointed toward her beautiful face. She is a human resource supervisor, and as I told you guys, I was going to have someone from a business here in the Gadsden area to come in and speak with you about interviewing skills and what they look for in a potential employee during the new hire process. Welcome, Ms. Ramirez. I am so sorry. I'm going to tell everybody my name again, but welcome, Ms. Ramirez.
Thank you, Ms. James. And let me first and foremost say thank you, Ms. James, for the invite. I relish this opportunity to speak with anyone about, being a potential candidate for employment and actually what it is that I look for when interviewing people for a job. So please keep in mind that the interview process happens in stages. The first stage is something that I like to call pre-screening, and that actually starts at the very beginning when you put in your application. It is very important to understand that the application is going to be your ticket to getting a job and the job interview. Please make sure that you fill out your applications in its entirety. Make sure you proofread them to make sure there are no errors, that there are no spelling mistakes in that, and make sure that you do sign and date it. That is one of the things that simply people miss up on. Please make sure that you do attach a resume that is also error proof. So at the end of the day, that is just going to be your first initial step to getting a job. All right, so with that being said, we're going to move on to the job interview. Please understand that the job interview starts immediately when you pull up on the employer's parking lot. They might already have secretaries or receptionists, or either you could say the security personnel that are looking for you to arrive. So they're looking to see if you are a candidate that comes, flying through their parking lot, blasting your music, or you might be an individual that smokes and you have just flicked your cigarette butt onto the parking lot and defaced our property. So those are just some of the things not to do when you are going for the job interview. Make sure that you're courteous when you arrive, and that's going to be to the person that's checking you in, whether it be the security or whether it be the front desk receptionist or secretary. Please make sure that you dress the part for the interview and make sure that you arrive at least 10 to 15 minutes early. Now, going back to dressing for the job interview, one of the things that I like to look for is that you are well put together. I try to make sure that, I know that clothing styles do change and unlimited, but make sure that you're not wearing anything that's too risque, too tight, or something that looks like that you would go party in. So please just keep it casual, keep it simple, keep it basic. Make sure you wear no heavy perfumes, colognes, or aftershaves. Make sure that you do not wear a lot of jewelry. Please, facial piercings are going to be a no-no. So if you have them, please take them out. And ladies, please make sure you don't wear big hoop earrings. Small studs or pearls are classic. So please make sure you pay attention to those small details when giving the interview. Other things that we look for is going to be one of those things that a lot of people think is very, minute and small, but it's really a big determining factor when doing your interview is that you are by yourself for the interview. So if you have small children, do not bring your small children with you. What you have just told me is that you don't have a babysitter, so you're not going to have a babysitter to come to work. So might not seem like much to some people, but that really is a big turnoff for an employer. So now that we're jumping into the interview process, please make sure that you make great eye contact. You don't have to stare holding somebody and look creepy, but please make sure that you make great eye contact. Make sure you have a firm handshake, not too tight, and please make sure that you asked to be seated, or you asked to be seated. So you can just simply say, "May I please take a seat?" And they will of course say, "Of course, please have a seat." Make sure that you don't cross your legs or your arms. Some people are very good in interrogating supervisors with interviewing, and sometimes that tells them that you are withholding information if you cross your arms and your legs. I'm not that vain on that, but just keep in mind that some people do look for that. So make sure that you're sitting straight up in your chair, and then your interview process begins. I know that Miss James has given you probably bukus of interview questions and answers that you need to be studying over when you're doing your mock interview. And I can tell you some of those are going to be some of my top five. It's always going to be, tell me a little bit about yourself, give me a strength, give me a weakness. It's going to be, what would your last supervisor or employer say about you as an employee? It is also going to be, why should I hire you? And one of those questions that I always leave for last is going to be, tell me what you know about this company and why do you choose to want to work here? Please make sure you Google whatever company you're going to apply for. If you cannot tell them anything about their company, chances are you don't really want to work for that company. So please make sure that you do your research and do your homework on that company to know something about that company. So that's very important. But some of the things that I look for is going to be that the person come in on time. Was the person courteous to my staff? Did they have a completed application? Did they have a formal resume, error free? How they were dressed. So my pet peeves, I'm going to tell you, and everybody has them. My pet peeves do not come with Nike slides, do not come with sweatpants, t-shirts, and do not wear blue jeans. Also, I already gave you a little snippet. Do not bring children with you to a job interview. So those are just some of the things that I look for. Now, I know that everybody's not a professional interviewer, and we're not looking for you to be. What we are looking for is a person who is teachable, for a person who is trainable, and for a person that, above everything, possesses a winning attitude. So if you do not remember anything else, remember that your attitude determines your altitude and how far you can go with any company. So even if you know you're not the best candidate for the job, you might not think that you are, and you could be, or you don't think that you give the greatest interviews, make sure that you are respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Thank you. Make sure that you have a great attitude and that you're not a know-it-all and that you thank the person for their time and their opportunity. And again, when you're leaving, give them a firm handshake. And most interviewers are going to ask at the end of the interview, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, do you have any questions for me? Please do not say, no, I'm good. I don't have any. That really tells me that you're not interested as well. So this is another tool you can get from Google. You can Google the top 10, top 20 questions to ask an interviewer. Pick at least two of them that you would like to ask. Pay not being one of them. That will probably be something that I'll tell you that the position already, um, probably has in the details how much the job is going to pay. But if not, it's distasteful to ask for the pay. But please have, even if it's something as small as, what are the requirements for a uniform if a uniform is required? What skills and qualifications do you look for when it's to hire somebody? So go to the list and Google it about, 2 to 3 interview questions questions you can ask a supervisor or a manager or staffing professional. So I hope that has helped you. I wish you all the best in searching for your new job. Please make sure that you are using those skills and skill sets that you're using and gaining from your time at Job Corps in your trades. That is going to be very beneficial. Some of you might say that I've never had a job, I've never worked. Well, if you've been at Job Corps for at least 6 months to a year, that is your job. You are a government employee. You either work for ETR or you work for Chugash. So please make sure that you put that on your job application. So as an example, if you are a security student, you can put you are a security officer. I would probably put my trade instructor as my supervisor. Please list your duties, especially if you have done work-based learning. Make sure you list the responsibilities that you have in job duties. Please, above everything else, sign and date those applications, but we probably were going to throw those away. So please make sure that you just do those simple things and you will be fine in getting your job. So I wish you all the best. And again, my name is Mrs. Ramirez, and it was a pleasure coming and talking to all of you. Have a great day.
Thank you for coming, Miss Ramirez. And I really enjoyed it myself, and I will take away some of those notes and some of those things that you have spoken about, for myself, as well as to take those back to my students. And it's a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope to have you on again with us. And